Morning, good morning. Welcome.
All right, I'm seeing 11 on my screen. Everyone, good morning and welcome to our workshop, Generative AI. We are very excited to be hosting and facilitating this training. My name is Rim Hussein, and alongside of me are some amazing instructional consultants from the Center of Teaching Excellence that will be facilitating this session as well. So Jamie Thompson, Armando Sutejo, Carlos Perez will be facilitating this section with us today. So we're a collaborative community, and what that means is that this is a demo-heavy session, and we do not want you to miss out on any of the important information we're sharing today. So with that being said, make sure you have any questions. If you have any questions, you can share them in the chat, and Carlos Perez, our moderator, will be helping to answer all those questions throughout. Of course, if you have any lingering questions that you're like, I cannot have those shared in the chat, please feel free to ask those at the very end in the Q&A session at the very end of this session. Also, this session will be recorded, so just letting everybody know, so it can be a good resource for y'all in the future should you need it. Okay, the objectives for this training, why you're all here. We're going to be helping you define generative AI tools. We will also help you experiment with certain generative AI tools such as ChatGPT and Bing, since Bing is the enterprise tool here for Texas A&M, and discussing how these generative AI tools apply to your course planning, regardless of modalities. Online, synchronous, asynchronous, or face-to-face, hopefully we'll be able to help you bring in some AI into your classes. All right.
All right, now as a starter and a warming up for all of us, we will have some two polls. I hope we can actively participate to these polls. The first question is about how frequent or how often you are using AI tools in your classroom, either classroom or by yourself. That should be fine. Is it daily tools, 2-3 times a week, or once a week, or never, or just none of the above? Feel free to participate. You can pull your device, scan the QR code, or open the link, whichever works. I will give you about 2 minutes to respond to this first poll. It's looking good. There are some people using daily, 2-3 times a week, or even never use AI tools. That's fine too. All right. I think probably everybody almost submitted the poll. Now we can move to the second poll. So this second poll is you can input more than one time, which is you can share any kind of AI tools or you think is AI related tools that you already use in the past or even now. Feel free to share more than one. Okay, so based on what we posted here, looks everyone already have some experience as well with some AI related tools, which is great. Through this session, we will share our experience as well later on the breakout room. And right now we can move to the next slide. So yeah, this is the artificial intelligence at a glance. So basically, these infographics try to give us an understanding about the scope of artificial intelligence. If we ever heard about machine learning or deep learning, natural language processing, and also the last one is the most hot topic right now, probably large language model, where ChatGPT fall around on the definition. So those three are part of the artificial intelligence scope of work. And if you read all the definition here between each other, there are some intersection part. And if you don't realize that your digital assistant like Siri, Alexa, or Hi Google, whatever it is, they are all also running based on AI, which is we probably already interacted with them on daily basis. We just don't realize it. But here, this workshop, we hope that you can learn furthermore about what we call as large language model, which is ChatGPT, and now we also have Bing Chat Enterprise on our campus. So we hope that you can learn all this together through the workshop that we have. Next, probably Jamie will help us go further with all the definition.
Okay, thanks, Armando. Okay, so most of you have heard of AI, right? And most of you are using it. It looks like about 62% of you are using it either daily or 2 to 3%. And some of you that are not, you don't think you're using it, you're probably using it. If you use your maps on your phone, or if you're using Siri or Alexa, you're using it. This workshop will focus on generative AI. And so because of the influx of conversation surrounding generative AI, especially after GPT and Bing and Bard were introduced, you may find yourself asking what it is. And for us, you really have to define that. So what we know is that it's important to understand that both AI and generative AI are machine learning algorithms that have different goals and purposes. Traditional AI can analyze data and perform tasks based on a specific pattern and rule, but generative AI can create content, including text and image, video, coding, in an entirely new way. So that's something to really to understand, that moving forward, that's what generative AI is. It's the mouthpiece, right? Bing Chat and ChatGPT are examples of a large language model. And of course, our focus for this workshop will be on the Bing Chat Enterprise, because that is what A&M is offering. So let's kind of look at, because many of you may have used ChatGPT and not necessarily Bing. So let's take a moment to look at the differences and the similarities. So they both are a large language model. They both use prompt engineering, and they have multiple uses. There are free versions of both of them. And regardless of which one you use, you must verify the accuracy of the information that you are provided. With ChatGPT, the free version uses a GPT 3.5. It is OpenAI, and the privacy is not there. They don't promote privacy for ChatGPT. The last update to the database was September 21. So anything after that is not in their database. However, with Bing Chat, it is running the free version, or the version that we have available to us, runs on GPT 4.0. So, and it is under Microsoft's environment. So if you use Edge, it has that capability, it has the functions there. They do protect your privacy. They use the coding, so it's safe if you wanted to upload your market plan, and you wanted to upload that market plan and then create one that's a better version of that. It will encrypt that data so that it doesn't share your privacy information with others. It doesn't learn that information. The information is up to date, and it does search on the web, and it provides you references. And then in some cases, you have the option to have a downloadable version of the results. For example, if you wanted to have it create a rubric for an assignment that you're teaching in your course, it will create the rubric, but then it gives you the option to download that file so that you don't have to recreate it outside of the application. So some examples of the ways that you can use ChatGPT would be to generate rubrics as the instructor, or compose your syllabus. Maybe you're working for your spring courses and you really want to kind of hone in on changing some things. It will help you do that. It can help you write a lesson. And today, the activity you're going to be able to manipulate that some. Provide feedback, that's essential, right? When you're teaching a course of 500 or more students, providing feedback is a challenge, to say the least. So I'm using this tool to help facilitate that, can be very beneficial. And then also analyzing data in a different way, right? In a more precise way, it can help you do that. Your students, so when you're planning your lessons for your course, consider the ways that students can use it. We often want to shy away from using AI in our course because we're afraid of plagiarism. But if we begin to incorporate this tool as a learning mechanism, it's a way for us to develop and empower students, empower our learners to use this tool. It's more beneficial for that in that sense. And so they can use it to answer questions and write poems, create music, whatever, analyze text. but they have to learn to do that in a way that is audible, that is, they can track it and they can share that information. So I'd like to, before we go to breakout rooms to use this, I would like to show you, let me stop sharing for a moment. Okay. So you should be able to see Bing, you should be able to see Edge. Is everyone thumbs up? We can see Edge. Okay, awesome.
Yes.
So if you, thank you, Carla. So if you, at the top of your screen, let me close it out so you can see it. There is an icon you can use. If you select that, it will open Bing up automatically. I am logged in to Bing with my ANN, so I have some options, but it is under my protected version of the application. We're going to take a second to load, and you can see there is the protected version, and you can chat with it, or I'm going to go back so you can see the options. When you click here, you have multiple options. You have a chat or you have a compose, which is quite interesting, because you can compose, if you were to choose this, you could compose an email, it would do that for you. It gives you some pretty fascinating options to do. But for today's workshop, we're going to focus on the chat feature. And that chat feature you'll use, and you can select the different options, and we're going to let you play with that. Armando is going to send you to breakout rooms, and then each one of us will join you to have for you to be able to manipulate that.
If you do not see the protected, you should be able to log in. So it's going to take a minute. Yes, you might need to log out and log back in a few times before you actually get that green official sign. I had an issue with it, so you might need to close your browser, log back in if you still don't see that green sign. Like I said, it took me a minute to get that sign. Thank you so much. So thank you, Armando, Jamie, and Ring for that section.